on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Caden, or Cantina Comics, and today we're going to be ranking every single live-action Hulk design that we've gotten throughout the years. There are over 18 designs in this video, and they're not going to be just strictly just the Hulk himself. It is going to be any gamma-irradiated character that we have seen. People like the Leader, Red Hulk, She-Hulk, Scar, unfortunately, Professor Hulk, the Hulk, you name it, Abomination, they're all going to be here. And with that being said, if you are new around here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn notifications. We're very quickly approaching 1,000 subscribers, and my goal is to hit that by the time that Avengers Endgame Encore releases in theaters in September. And lastly, there are going to be spoilers for Spider-Man Brand New Day, so if you don't want to be spoiled, now is your time to click off the video. And with that being said, we're going to start off with our honorable mentions, and the first one here is going to be a group of 3, and these are the Hulk dogs that we see in Ang Lee's Hulk. I don't even really know if I should be ranking these or talking about them, but I'm going to. Their inclusion is honestly really weird in this film. The Hulk bitch slaps one of them, punches them in the nuts, and rips them apart, and when they die, they just poof into gamma dust. It's really weird seeing the Hulk punch a dog in the nuts. Even saying it out loud just sounds ridiculous, but we have Hulk dogs, so I'm gonna mention them. But yeah, with that being said, we're gonna move on to our last honorable mention, and that is Hulk in Deadpool Wolverine. And there's been a lot of speculation online if this is Mark Ruffalo, Edward Norton, Eric Bana, Maestro, and with the one shot of Wolverine popping his claws, recreating this classic cover, we can see that it is Mark Ruffalo. This looks just like the Infinity War / Ragnarok version of him, but because we never fully see him, we don't really get anything with them. I'm just gonna leave it here in an honorable mention. Now moving on to our main list, and at the number 17 spot, we have Todd Hulk from She-Hulk. Everything about this was super weird, and they kind of like retcon this in the show, but also kind of not. This was just a really weird episode, and this was a really weird inclusion. Todd was trying to steal She-Hulk's DNA to give himself Hulk powers, and he does, but it also gets retconned. I don't know. It's really weird. I'm gonna mention here though, because it is a Hulkling kind of, I don't know, but it's more than Amadeus Cho. He was gonna appear in Brave New World, but we never saw him. So he is here. Now moving on to the number 16 spot, we have the Leader from Brave New World. In the behind the scenes and in the promotional art for him, the Leader looked 10 times better than how he looked in the finished film. I don't know why they decided to have his brains be exposed and make him look like a nutsack. It's beyond me, and I think Tim Blake Nelson needs an apology from Marvel. In the behind the scenes, we literally have the perfect version of the Leader, and it's just crazy that they went back through and changed it, making us have this, and it's a fucking downgrade. And at the number 15 spot, we have Scar from She-Hulk. His inclusion at the end of She-Hulk and everything with the Sicarians is just kind of odd. It feels kind of forced in. I know that they were planning on making a World War Hulk movie. I really don't know what the fuck happened with that. It would be great to have it. It would be great to have Louis Leterrier come back from the Incredible Hulk to direct that. But Scar, I mean, he pretty much looks nothing like how he looks in the comics. His hair is ridiculous. Stan Lee, the Sicarian barber, definitely fucked this boy up with that hairstyle. And if he returns in the future, I hope he doesn't have it. We have the old leaked concept art for Doomsday Secret Wars, and he looks better in that, but not in the show. At the number 14 spot, we have Lou Ferrigno's Hulk from the Incredible Hulk movie, as well as seasons 1 through 4 and every appearance of him since. The makeup from season 1 to 4 does change and it gets updated ever so slightly, but at the end of the day, this is still Lou Ferrigno just painted green with a wig and contacts. And for the 70s, it works. I know my dad grew up watching the show. When I was little, he talked about it a little bit, as well as pointed him out in Ang Lee's Hulk and the Incredible Hulk. So it was cool to see him come back for both of those films. And for our first depiction of the Hulk in live action, I think Lou Ferrigno was an incredible way to do it. On top of that too, we would not have our first live action appearance of Daredevil without the trial of the Incredible Hulk movie. So it's gonna have some brownie points for me because of that. I mean, I got this dude fucking tattooed right on my arm. So anytime I get a chance to include Daredevil or talk about him, I'm going to, and I apologize. And at the number 13 spot, we have Smart Hulk, Professor Hulk from She-Hulk Endgame and every appearance he's had in the MCU so far, including Brand New Day. I understand why he appeared in Endgame. It worked for that, and honestly, after Endgame, he should have gone away. I understand why they had him in She-Hulk, but to be honest with you, I kind of wish he would have reverted to his main Hulk form in that show. It's just crazy that we had to wait until 2026 from 2019. We almost had Smart Hulk longer than we had the actual Hulk in the MCU, which is fucking crazy, especially for the fact that a lot of fans, including myself, liked him at first, but the more and more he would appear, just hated it and just wished that we would have Savage Hulk back. And finally with Brand New Day we do. But I will say the CG for Smart Hulk is incredible and it looks great, and every single time he has reappeared throughout the MCU since then, it has always been improved upon, and you can really see all of Mark Ruffalo's features in the Hulk's face, and I'm glad it's there. And speaking of the show, at the number 12 spot we have She-Hulk. The only reason why she's up here on this list is because of the fact that she's gamma rated, that she's a Hulk, but also the technology for She-Hulk is amazing. She looks great. The CGI for her is great. The performance capture is great. You can see every little bit of Tatiana Maslany in there, and this technology even improves further when we get Red Hulk later down on this list as well, and also in Brand New Day. I'm so glad that they keep bringing in new Hulk characters to improve this, and it makes me extremely hopeful for the day that we do get a Maestro Hulk. I know he'll look fucking incredible, and it's solely because of the technology being updated with every appearance that a Hulk character has in the MCU. And I feel like She-Hulk, even though the show wasn't widely accepted, really did push the envelope forward for the Hulk technology, and that is why it's here on this list. Now at the number 11 spot, we have Abomination from the Incredible Hulk. Right off the bat, in this film, I love that they made Abomination 10 times bigger than the Hulk, and they go even further with it in She-Hulk. I'm going to talk about that later, but right off the bat, that's one of the first things I noticed when watching this movie for the first time, and I love the fact that they did that. On top of that, having the bones come out of the elbows as well as the back of the calves was an interesting idea, and it worked for this. I'm kind of glad that they went away with it in the future, but for this film it works, especially with the spine as well. And for Hulk's first real gamma irradiated villain, Abomination looks pretty good in this film, and especially for 2008, I'm surprised that they made him look as good as he does. And then moving on to the number 10 spot, we have the Hulk from Avengers Age of Ultron. The technology for Hulk in this movie drastically improved from the first Avengers film, but with that, Hulk is also a lot more desaturated in this film than he was in the Avengers, especially in Endgame 2. You can really tell when he put the two scenes side by side from the Avengers and in Endgame. I don't know why they did this. Hulk should be bright, vibrant green. That's part of why he's gamma irradiated, and in this film they kind of go away with it, which kind of hurts it in my opinion. I love everything with Mind Controlled Hulk from Scarlet Witch. They really made him look like he was strung out, which was the point, and it looks great. I don't really have a whole lot to add besides the fact that I think Hulk looked better in the Avengers. You can definitely tell the technical improvements in this film. I just wish the green would have been a little bit more vibrant than what it is. And then moving on to the number 9 spot, we have the Hulk in Avengers Endgame deleted scene as well as the concept art. Now, when we first got the concept art, I honestly thought that this was going to be like the actual Savage Hulk, just in like an Avengers uniform. And in the movie, when Hulk brings everyone back, he is wearing the suit, but it is with Smart Hulk. And there is a deleted scene where he works with the police to save people from a burning building with a satellite dish. And in that deleted scene, he uses this giant iPad as a phone. This probably is going to be one of the completed scenes that's added to Avengers Endgame Encore. It was added in for the original re-release, and you can watch it right now on Disney+. I think that this scene, along with this design, honestly isn't all that bad. It is a little over-designed, and when you see it in the Avengers game, it definitely looks a little odd, but I really like it, and I think if it was given more time and actually stuck with the character, it could have been really cool to see. And now moving on to the number 8 spot, we have Abomination from Shang-Chi as well as She-Hulk. And he gets an entire overhaul here and looks so great. Abomination is a lot bigger in these two projects than he was in the Incredible Hulk. And now finally we have the comic book accurate fins on the side of his ears. We don't have all the bones sticking out, and Emil Blonsky has full control over Abomination in this. He almost has his normal voice too, which is kind of odd, especially since he didn't have that in Incredible Hulk. But this new design for him is amazing, and I love it so much more than the original. He also seems to be a lot more scaly in this, as opposed to like slimy and bony, which I'm all for. The bones worked in the Incredible Hulk, and I'm glad that they were there, but for this, I think I prefer it without. It's also so funny seeing him fight the Hulk in this. You could tell the height difference, especially with Smart Hulk, how much taller Abomination is, and we also see this in Brand New Day. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later. Next up, at the number 7 spot, we have the Hulk from the Avengers. To be honest with you, I think this is one of my favorite Hulk appearances in the MCU itself. The character design is great, the CGI is great, the performance capture is great, everything about it is great. The colors are vibrant as hell. It's the Hulk. I mean, the only thing that I'd like to see here is maybe having some purple pants, but I don't even need that because it looks so great in this film without it. And like I mentioned with a couple of these spots, there is a deleted scene with more of this interaction between him and the security guard. It's great, but overall, for his character in the Avengers, I still think this holds up to today and might even be better than majority of these on this list, but I do have some personal bias and favorites. So as of right now, this is going to be at our number 7 spot. And then moving on to the number 6 spot, we have Ang Lee's Hulk. And honestly, I think this movie is incredibly misunderstood and underrated. This was the first Hulk movie that I had ever seen. This is my first introduction to the character. I love this Hulk design. I love the fact that when he gets angrier, he grows in size. The Hulk in the comics can do that, and he can change his size. And this is one of the few times that we see it depicted in live action. I think the only other time really is in Brand New Day. I love how vibrant and bright the green is for Hulk, as well as the fact that we had the purple shorts. If there was a Hulk film that put it in, I'm glad it's in this one. Ang Lee really understood the character. If you didn't know, he did almost all, if not all, of the performance capture for the Hulk in this film. The fact that we have like comic book panels and editing is a really unique choice. I don't know if I want to see the panels come back, but this was a really cool idea. They went all out for it, and it really shows. Honestly, Eric Bana is really good as Bruce Banner. I would love to see this version of the Hulk return as a Maestro Hulk in Secret Wars. And now moving on to number 5 spot, we have Hulk's regular design from Infinity War as well as Ragnarok. They completely updated the Hulk's design for these two films from Age of Ultron and the Avengers, especially with him having the more high and tight haircut and the updated performance capture. I think minus the number 1 spot, this is probably the best the Hulk has looked in the MCU, in my opinion, at least this design version of him anyway. I always like when Hulk has a little bit more shorter hair. I don't really like the long, kind of scraggly-ish hair with the Hulk. I never have, maybe that's just me, but I really love the design of both of these films. And now moving on to number 4 spot, we have Edward Norton's Hulk from The Incredible Hulk, and this is exactly what I'm talking about with the hairstyle. I love this version of the Hulk. The green of him is a little too dark and dirty for me. I would like it to be more brighter and vibrant, but I don't really like the hair that he has in this film. But besides that, the behind-the-scenes facial capture they had used, for being in a very infant stage, does a lot for the character's design and looks amazing. Also too, this Hulk is just fucking jacked. Look at the muscle definition. I don't think the Hulk has looked this beefy. I don't even know if that's the right word to use, but I don't think he's ever looked this beefy again since. And Louis Leterrier really knew what he was doing when it came to making this Hulk design, and I love it so much. And now moving on to the number 3 spot, we have Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross's Red Hulk from Brave New World. This was our first updated look at the new Hulk technology that they had developed for this film. And honestly, the only thing that I would like to see here was the mustache on Red Hulk. Maybe that's just me. I love it when he has the mustache. And we did see Harrison Ford with it in the film before they shaved it. But Red Hulk, every single scene that he is in looks incredible. The red looks amazing. I love that they included whenever he touches things that turn on fire from the rage, the smoldering rage. It's such a small detail for the character, but it really goes a long way with selling it. I mean, we got Harrison Ford as a Hulk, which I never would have expected. R.I.P. William Hurt, he would have been great. I don't know if we'll ever see him again. I hope we do. Harrison Ford's getting up there in age though, so they might have to recast again for a 3rd time. I hope they don't have to do that. But overall, I really love this version of Red Hulk. This was awesome, and I cannot wait to see where he'll show up in the future of the MCU post-Secret Wars. And now moving on to number 2 spot, we have Gladiator Hulk from Thor Ragnarok. When I think of World War Hulk, this is the design I think of. They did this dude so much fucking justice. His Gladiator design is incredible, and when we first saw it in the trailer, I was freaking the fuck out. I was a huge fan of the Planet Hulk animated film, so to see this in the movie, and also it kind of retread some of the same ideas in Ragnarok, was great, and it didn't feel like just a copy and paste. The friend from work line is great, the fight with Thor is great. I so wish we got to see a Planet Hulk film and see more of this design, but unfortunately, I don't think Universal's ever gonna get their shit together to make it happen, and that's extremely unfortunate. Now moving on to the number 1 spot, we have Hulk from Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, Professor Hulk is in this film for a little bit, but Savage Hulk finally does make his return in the MCU, and in this movie, it's the first time in a long time that we actually see a full Hulk transition, and it's fucking great. We need more of these. Let Destin Daniel Cretton do something with the Hulk in the future. This dude understands the character, he knows how to show him off, and my only thing is I wish we got to spend some more time with him. The new updated Hulk technology looks amazing here as well. The performance capture is, I think, the best we've ever gotten, and it makes sense because it's the most recent. And earlier I mentioned the height difference with Smart Hulk, and we can really tell in this film. Spider-Man even mentions it when he says, I didn't know you can get that big. When this dude turns into Savage Hulk, you can see he is a fucking giant, as he should be. Abomination's still probably a little bit taller, but they are on a lot more of an even playing field now. Every scene that Savage Hulk is in this film had me on the edge of my seat, and I'm really interested to see where they ended up taking Bruce Banner. Then I was watching a news broadcast where they talked about how they brought him to a psychiatric facility. I'm really kind of interested to see what is going on at the facility. I feel like there's gonna be some shady shit happening there, and Savage Hulk's probably gonna be getting tested on. We do have some concept art, once again, that I mentioned earlier. Scar, She-Hulk, and Professor Hulk, but since Professor Hulk's gone, I'm pretty sure this isn't gonna be real or isn't gonna be happening, at least for now. And if we do get Hulk in Secret Wars, I really hope it is this version from Brand New Day, the Savage Hulk version. I'm crossing my fingers. But with that being said, that was my list. I'd love to hear yours in the comments down below. Go ahead and drop it. I'm really interested to see if there's going to be any updated scenes in Avengers Endgame Encore, like the deleted scene I mentioned for Hulk. There might be, as well as maybe even a little bit of him in Avengers Doomsday. He isn't confirmed, but I would love to have him. With all that being said, it's been Caden, or Cantina Comics, and I will see you all in the next one.